There you go.
What is it?
It's on my shirt. You gotta reverse it.
Okay.
Got it?
Got it.
Um,
Got it.
I'm not going to start here until y'all get around. Can I start?
I see something. Yeah. Go ahead. Hey, y'all.
Hello, everybody.
Hey. This is Ira.
This is Divine.
As one, we getting ready to start our show, so. Okay. Sorry, y'all. We just trying to get some stuff together all over the place.
As we always say, my name is Divine.
And my name is Ira.
And together we are
As one.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing this evening? Hopefully everybody's having a good day. My voice might sound a little crazy. I'm just getting over a cold. I've been sick since like Sunday, so I'm a little under the weather. But I'm still here. The show's still got to go on.
Yeah, the show still got to go on.
And tonight's show is really funny. It's really funny because we were going to do something else different at first, but as my wife always says, this show isn't just about us. We're trying to do shows that someone can get something from. So someone had actually asked us, could we talk about love and relationships? And I was like, okay, somebody we both know, they're going through stuff, and I guess they just wanted to hear us, talk about, different aspects of love and relationships. So we decided to, give people what they want.
That's right. Like always. Yes. Yeah, that's it. So yes, like tonight we will be talking about different definitions of love. So I'm gonna let my husband start it off, and then I am going to talk about different names of love and what they represent. So honey, I'm gonna let you start it off.
Yeah, last week when we had the Kings up here, we went over the 5 languages of love, so not really going to talk too much about that. It may come up, when me and wifey are talking about, how we love each other, but, we just discussed that, so I want to talk more about, something a little different, but it's in regards to love. And a lot of people tend not to realize, well, let me back up a little. Love is one of the most profound emotions known to man, known to women as well. A lot of us tend not to know that love and learning how to love actually comes from us as being when we're a child. Whoever our caretaker is, whoever our moms and pops, and I say caretaker because some of us might have been, raised by a grandmother, aunt, or whatever the case may be. Whoever that caretaker was, when they were there for you when you were crying, they may have gave you a pacifier, may have given you your bottle, may have hugged you, held you, picked you up and stuff like that. That's one of the first ways that we start to, really come in contact with love and feelings. A lot of people tend to think that, and I'm one of them people that tend to think that that's part of the way, we start to identify with love and feelings and emotions, as we're a child and we start to interact with whoever was taking care of us, as I said, we start to bond with people. And out of that bonding, you start to see that certain things happen, certain things don't happen, and certain things you want to happen. So you get responses and stuff based on, the different situations and scenarios. Some could be bad and some could be good. And if you had a lot of bad experiences when you were young, you might have a misdirected notion of what love is to you. But if you had a loving upbringing and, your dad and moms was loving and caring, they hugged you, gave you words of affirmation, beautiful child, we love you, we're glad that you're in our life. We couldn't have had a better child. If they talk to you with that kind of affirmation, then you see love from a whole different angle than the person who may have been abused. So that's one of the things that we have to keep in contact with when we think about love. Some people think that love is just something that comes about when we're older. No. All through your life, you are seeing different aspects of love and you're seeing different aspects of relationships with people. Because we have a relationship with everything that we come in contact with in life. And based on how you were brought up, it could either be distorted or you can see things from, the view of how love is really supposed to be seen.
Right. And I like what you said about love. Just being in a household where you have that nurturing, being nurtured and loved from your parents. And the thing that I think about is when I think about God, they say, God is love. So when we think about that, our creator is love. And so when he created us, he like the young man said earlier on Z's show, he said God knew us before we was formed in our mother's womb. So we were already in the essence of, God and him creating us and who we are. And a lot of people take that, this, if I tell you I love you, some people take it lightly. They just make it so simple. Don't simplify it, because love is so deep. Mm-hmm. Love is it's complicated in a way because people take it so lightly. If I say, Z, I love you. If I say, honey, I love you. I don't want to say that passively just to say it. Mm-hmm. I really want to say that I really, really, truly love you. So I want to run down a few of the different names of love. So you have philo, which is friendship, and you have eros, which is a sexual and a passionate love, and then you have storge, which is the love of a child, and then you have agape love. Agape love is the highest form of love that anybody could give. So when you think about agape love, God, the God of our understanding, he is agape all across the board. It's not a love that's going to deceive man. It's not a love that's passive. It's not a love that hates. So we have to think about those things. If you tell your boyfriend or your girlfriend, I love you, is that philo love? Is that agape love? Is that eros love? So which love is it? Because a lot of times we get the word love mixed up with a sexual act. Because I tell you I love you, I'm going to be in a sexual act with you. Mm-hmm. And that falls under the eros love. Mm-hmm. So love is so much deeper. I would just keep it at agape love. It's so much deeper than eros love. Now, if I philo you, that means friendship love. That means I want to be in a friendship with you. And so therefore, if I'm in philo with you, I can move forward to go to that agape love with you. So I don't ever want to take the word love for granted, because you have people in the world that'll put an F, and y'all know what the F mean. They'll say F love. They'll take it and distort it and make it seem like it's nothing. But love, it covers a multitude of sin. Love, it draws you to people. It teaches. It just, a person that hates. If you have hate in your heart, how can I love you? If I have hate in my heart, how can I truly say that I love you? If I have so much hate, and people say, well, love your neighbor as you love yourself. If I hate myself, if I'm always depressed, if I always got some things going on with my heart and my mind and my soul, and it's going to be kind of hard for me to love you if I don't love myself. Yeah. So whatever. Okay, the scripture says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So think about it. If I got so much hate, hurt, depression, all kinds of things going on with me, there is no way I could love you the way that God says that I am to love you, because I don't love myself. So we have to understand that we can't play with that word. So people take it, because like I said, people put an F in front of love and say, blank love. Love is this. Love is distorted. Love ain't, what is love? What is this? What is that? So we say all these things about love, and love is a beautiful word that can kill hate. It could kill, it could just kill a lot of things, So we just have to be careful how we use the word love.
I definitely agree with that. Like, love to me is the highest understanding, amongst the two people who are involved in the relationship. And like you said, a lot of people tend to throw that word around, but love is very broad. Most of us tend to think of love just in a romantic sense, but it's not necessarily just based on a romantic sense. Mm-hmm. You have some people who love to read books. Is their love any different than loving an individual? It may not be, because sometimes I think we're a little closed-minded and we try to put love in a box, but love is so full that it goes beyond the boxes. You know, some people love experiences. You know, I know that's why places like Great Adventures, places like Walt Disney, places like, you know, wherever, you know, Las Vegas, you know, that's why they're so popular. They popping. Why are they popping? Because people want to be a part of the experience, and some people actually love those kind of experiences. What else? You have some people that love to see other people in love. You have some people that love the idea of other things coming into play. You know, you have some people that love to imagine that, you know, they're in a different place in their lives. So there are different aspects of love, but a lot of people tend to focus just on the, you know, the romantic aspect of love, and that's just part of it. Or if they don't focus on just the romantic part of love, they think about just loving their parents or, you know, loving siblings. And it goes a lot further than that. I actually read online this gentleman, he was talking about love, and he broke it down this way, and it was loyalty, optimism, value, and energy. It takes all four of these things to put in place for love to, you know, continue to go forward and grow. You know, sometimes I think love is actually beyond our comprehension.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
think so.
We have we have this preconceived notion based on what we've read in books, what we've seen in movies. You know, how somebody's going to come with the golden shoe and put it on your foot, and then your life is going to change. Remember the movie Julia Roberts was in, or, you know, or maybe even Cinderella. You know, if you think of that aspect, you know, the hateful person, and or they have all these romantic movies. Some women go crazy and all that because of love.
Yeah,
and
you talk about the movies.
We got one coming out now. There's one that's out now. You know, I'm not saying any names, but there's one that's out now. You know, the lady was cheated on, and you know, and then she went crazy. So that's kind of the aspects that are thrown to us in today's society and movies and, you know, online and stuff like that. But in reality, love is way broader than that. And people don't understand, in order for you to express yourself and let somebody know, like, I love you and all that, that takes courage.
It does.
It requires a great deal of courage, and it also requires you to be true to who you are and be your authentic self. You know,
I like when you were talking about the movies, and then
man.
you have songs. If you could think about a song, okay, y'all, I'm not gonna say his name, but y'all remember the song? I don't want to give you the wrong impression, but I need love and affection. Y'all know he was talking about that Eros love. Come on now, y'all know he was talking about sex.
I don't even think
he wasn't talking about agape love.
I don't even think he was talking about love. He was talking about something.
And then if you go way back when you think about Sonny and Cher, love will keep us together. You know, so you think about all of that, you know, the songs that people used to come out with, you know, you're so silly.
Oh, come on now.
They say love will keep you together, but how many divorces
Yeah.
have happened, you know, because you think of songs and why people, you know, put those words together. That's probably what they were going through at the time. They said, love gonna keep us together. Can't nothing tear us apart. But all of a sudden, you start letting other things come into play. You start letting interferences come in. You start letting distractions come in. You start looking for someone else to fill that void outside of your marriage or your relationship or your situationship, you know, because situationship, y'all know that those don't ever work out too long. So we think about all of those songs, and, you know, in this day and time, it is the Eros love to me.
I don't even think it's love, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think it's love. I just think it's just straight sex.
I think it's more love and lust is two
love
different
and lust,
things.
yeah, it is. Love and lust is two different things. And I think of love. Love is the food. Love is like food to me. It's like food to the heart, the mind, and the soul. It says love is the breath of our life. Without love, our life is like death.
Damn.
So without it,
I ain't trying to be dead yet.
so without love, you're walking around dead. Because you can't say that you love me and then you talk about me. And when I say talk about me, you may gossip about me. You can't say that you love me and not bring correction to my life or reproach. You know, because a lot of times you can love me and bring correction to my life. So I can holler out to Auntie Hazel. I can holler out to, my sister, Dejanette, Round. They will bring love to me and reproach. Misha, I have a lot of people that say, listen, Ira, you got to get out of this mindset. You can't stay there. You can, if you bitter and you upset and you mad, how can you really say that you are loved? How can you say you really can love somebody if you got all of this stuff going on?
Yeah.
So go ahead.
And like Wifey was just saying, I was watching this video the other day, and it was back from 2016, and they were saying 44% of people in the black community don't even believe, that marriage is even a significant thing anymore.
Yeah.
Now that was from 2016. The number or the percentage could have changed now, but I'm just putting that out there because she was talking about divorce. And another thing that we have to think about, now I'm going past the divorce, now in order to love, you have to learn how to love yourself first.
Oh yeah.
That's the core dynamic of it all. There's no way, it's going to be impossible for you to be able to love someone if you're unable to love yourself. You have to be happy you have to be happy with who you are,
right,
and where you see your place in the world today, or in the world in period. I mean world period, excuse me. My nose is a little stuffed.
Sorry.
But love is a team sport in a relationship. It's connecting with another human being. And if you don't have the ability to connect with yourself, with your feelings, your emotions, and how you relate and how you are, or how you see yourself in the world, it's definitely going to be hard for you to give that back to somebody else. So what you're probably going to be doing is you're going to be saying, I love you. You're going to be saying certain things, but in the doing part, you're going to probably lack. Because it's damn near impossible for you to love someone if you don't love yourself.
That's true.
So it's a team sport. We have to keep in mind that we come into a relationship as two individuals with our own ideology, with our own way of thinking, and we come together hopefully as one. All relationships don't tend to end up that way. But we come together and we're trying to come together as one. I bring my beliefs, Wifey brings her beliefs, we bring our core self, she brings her core self to the relationship. And some people have this thing that you can never be one, but if you're trying to do things together, you're trying to do things for each other, you're trying to honestly love each other, you're trying to honestly connect, with each other, you're trying to be genuine with each other, you're trying to let your feelings and emotions, intertwine with each other. I honestly believe that you're still two individuals, but you're coming together as a unit or as a union
you become
to be
one flesh.
So you become one flesh, as it says. But some people may not agree with that. But even if you don't agree with that, there still has to be that connection there. Love can still be there. You can still see us as two individuals with two different ways of life, because we both have our own paths, even though that we're in a relationship. And another thing I want to say about that, because I was watching, videos and listening to people recently. We have to keep in mind, I think a lot of people don't keep in mind that just because you're in a relationship, you still have your own identity.
Mm-hmm.
And what I think the problem is that some people try to, I've said this before, try to be on their best behavior. But even beyond that, not just being on their best behavior, they're trying to merge themselves with the other person so much and try to do exactly what they want them to do, or try to not step off the line, or not say the wrong things, that they're actually denying their true selves.
Yeah, because they have a false perception of what love really is. Because, a lot of us come from broken places.
Yes, we do.
So if we had, like me, I came from a home where I had both mom and dad. But love was demonstrated with a fist. Love was demonstrated with, you will never be nothing. Love was demonstrated in all different types of ways. So that, in my eyes, I was like, that was a distorted love. So we have to be careful, when we're discovering ourselves, that we say, okay, this is not the true me, and this is not who I really am. So as you're discovering who you are in God and presenting yourself to the world, you have to be careful not to become self-centered and have this ego and be, self-centered and self-obsession with yourself, but have a healthy self-perception about who you are. You know, so that way when people see you, they say, you know what, she always have such, or he always have a sweet disposition about himself or herself. I really do believe that this, you know, Ira really loved me. I really do believe that Divine really loved me. Because like the old rap song say, there's no future in your front. People front all the time about love. Like, we can go on Facebook all day long, and I can post 199 pictures of me and Divine. We smiling, we looking good, we got on our clothes. But child, we probably just had a fight 5 minutes before I post a picture.
Could be possible.
Could be possible. So everything is not what it seems. But I wouldn't, at the end of the day, I can honestly say I love my husband. And there is nothing that I wouldn't do for him. I would lay down my life for my husband. And a lot of people is not willing to say that. You know, a lot of people say, I'm not gonna die for you. Listen, you know what's a friend that would lay down his life for his brother? I don't know about that. I care about you, but I don't think I'd die for you, brother. But you know what I'm saying? But me, people that I really love, that's in my life, I can honestly say that I will lay down my life for you. But at the same time, I know a lot of people wouldn't be willing to do the same for me.
Oh, no doubt.
No one will really just say, well, you know what, I would die for you. Now, I've heard my children say that. They say, Mom, you know, I go to bat for you. You know, you my girl. You my queen. I wouldn't let nothing happen to you. I wouldn't let nothing happen to you. You know, so we have to be careful. I mean, love is it's just a beautiful thing. I was writing a poem the other day, and it says, I choose not to be depressed because I love me. I choose not to feel defeated because I love me.
Okay.
I choose not to lie about my feelings and who I am because why? I love me. I choose not to stay in a negative mindset. Why? Because greater is he that is in me than he who is in the world, and I love me. Okay. So I love myself. All right. I love myself. Is there some things that I'm still trying to peel away? Yes. I have a problem with self-control at times. Because if you say something crazy to me, it's not that I don't love you. I still love you. It's just some things that I have to work on, you know, within myself. You know, maybe it's not because I'm not loving myself as much as I should at that moment. So if I love myself, I would, you know, relax myself, shut my mouth, listen to what that person has to say, my husband, or what others have to say, and know that what they're saying to me is coming from a loving place. Because a lot of times, you know, things don't come from a loving place. You know, if a person is cussing you out, I can't cuss you out and then turn around and tell you I love you. Because how is it that I'm blessing you one minute and I'm cursing you the next minute? That's not love. That's not coming from a loving place. But
you can argue and still actually love the person.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't let the sun go down on your wrath. Yes.
You know, but you just got to be mindful that if you keep doing that over and over, that person might start to see you in a different light. Then they be like, oh yeah, you saying that you love me after the fact. You know, if something being done.
I just believe that when you say you love someone, I believe that you need to be consistent. You have to have some consistency with what you say, you know, to yourself. Because if you're not consistent with you're not going to be consistent with the person that you say that you love. So I'm peeling away this. I'm trying to die to my flesh daily. I try very, very hard. Sometimes when I'm in my car, I turn the radio off. I turn my phone off, and I spend that time, you know, staying vertical with God and myself so I can get myself together. And I say, okay, God, I know that you will love. And I said, today, I really didn't like my husband 5 minutes ago. He made me upset, and I said some things, and this actually happened today. But I was just saying when I was in the car or whatever. And I said, God, help me. And God said, no, you know what you need to do. You know exactly what you need to do. You need to get your mouth together. You need to get your heart right, and just listen to what he has to say. Because a lot of times, if the person is trying to tell you something and you are louder than them, you're not coming from a loving place. You're coming from a place where you're trying to, you know, be dominant and all that. And that's not what I was trying to do. I was just, I don't know.
But like you was just saying, you know, one of the things that I could think of just based on what she was saying was, make what you want known. Don't be passive.
Yes.
There's no future in fronting. You have to everybody, well, let me back up a little. Everybody is not a mind reader.
Nah.
Everybody is not a magician or something that they're going to be like, they're going to snap their fingers and know what you want. So sometimes you're going to actually have to speak up and let it be known what you want. It could be something minor, or it could be something major. Well, babe, could you stop leaving the dishes on the counter? I'm just picking up, I'm just saying something. But it could be something like that. Or did you remember to pay a bill? It could be different things, but just make known what you want. Or this is the way I like you to do things as opposed to the way that you're doing it.
Say it in love. I'm working on saying things in love. You have to say things in love, because if you come from a place where I read something the other day. They said a woman's words hurt as bad as a man's fist to a woman's face. I was like, wow. So I said, I have to be careful with what I say.
And that's how
I say it.
Each other.
Yes.
You have to honor each other.
Yeah, because, I can't sit here and tell y'all, okay, listen, now, ladies, it's how you say it. It may not be wrong with what you're saying, but it's how you say it. So if I'm saying, can you do X, Y, and Z, and then I'm cussing you out, trying to tell you what you need to do, I'm not trying to wear the pants. I'm not trying to come from some masculine energy and try to boss you around and tell you what you need to do. I am learning to come from a loving place. And I read something else. It said, it is only love which gives us new meaning of our lives. Every day is new. Just like mercy is new, love should be new every day.
Every time you wake up.
Every time you wake up, it should be new every day.
New beginning.
It says it is only love which teaches us the purpose of our lives. So if I'm doing something contrary to what love is trying to teach me, this is a problem with me. It's not a problem with love. So it's not blank love and all this stuff that we say. Love is the most powerful thing. Love is like the mother. It's like wisdom. It's
a path to discovery.
Yeah, it is a path to discovery.
Because when you get in a relationship and then you profess to love somebody and then you're around each other and you touching, holding, talking, sharing intimate moments, you start to learn more stuff about you as an individual. It reveals stuff about you that you may not even have known prior to that.
Right.
Because especially like for instance, last week I was talking on the phone. No, it was an interview actually. I was on an interview and we was talking and they asked me a question, and I was explaining to them that men aren't taught to express our feelings and emotions. So this definitely ties into men. Women are more emotional beings than men are. So they're able to, talk and say how they feel and all that. A lot of us, we bottle up our feelings and emotions. But when you get in a relationship, it may start to allow you to see sides of yourself that you never even knew that existed.
I've been hearing that for a long time.
Whereas if you are a hard individual and you come in contact with a white woman and she's loving and caring, and you start to see that little intimacy and the glow when she sees you and all that, that may help you to bring down your walls and become a softer, not that you're not being a man anymore, but you're able to express your feelings and emotions, so she actually don't always have to ask you all the time, do you care, do you love me, or how you feeling. You just express it, more willingly.
Yeah, and you're right about that. Women, we do, whether we express our feelings and or we're expressing our feelings, I don't know why so we go through all kinds of emotions, whether we crying, we're yelling, we throwing things. We shouldn't be doing that. I believe that men have just as great of emotion as women.
Yeah.
But of course, like hubby said, we're not taught to express that. But I feel that they have just as more, or now I don't want to even say less. I just feel that they do.
We do, but men, we receive stuff a little different.
Okay.
The way info is processed in a man's mind isn't processed
the
same way in a woman's mind. So some stuff hits y'all emotionally, whereas we'll just push it to the side because we may have been taught and given misinformed information back in the days that you shouldn't allow stuff like that to affect you in a womanly or a feminine manner. This is actually how men talk to young boys. This isn't me just saying that. If you grew up around men or in the hood, like I grew up, they be like, look, Man, suck that up. Don't even let nobody know, or they'll be like, never let nobody see you cry, or you can't. Dude, you can't express them kind of feelings in front of a female because they gonna chump you. They gonna feel as though you're a sucker, and you keep hearing that over and over and over again, and then you might have a man in your house, your father or another man, uncle, whoever, and then they be like, boy, you better not be a sucker. Don't let me find out you a sucker. You hear stuff like that, and it's persistent over a period of time. It starts to change the way that you perceive things because it's like almost like they're brainwashing you with their misinformed information for you not to come out as a soft guy. I'm gonna just say it that way. I was gonna say it a different way, but just not to come out as a soft individual. But let me jump a little further. Another thing, when you have a loving and caring relationship, there should be no jealousy. There should be no jealousy in a relationship. Jealousy is one of the things that could come in, and jealousy, and also interference. Wifey was talking about interference, allowing interference in your relationship. Too much jealousy, too much interference could definitely divert you and divert your relationship for the direction that it's trying to go. And she also spoke about consistency, and you have to stay connected. Yeah. If you're in a relationship, it's not about being connected just today and then the 6 other days in the week you're not connected. Is learning how to stay connected. I think that's one of the things that a lot of people fail to realize in a relationship. Just because you have bad times doesn't mean that you're not connected. Just because times is good doesn't necessarily mean that you're connected also, because somebody could be fronting, just doing what they think that you want them to do. So what it is really trying to get in tune with the individual that you're in a relationship with. Be honest to the best of your ability. Relationships take, like Wifey said, consistency and dedication. You have to be dedicated in a marriage or a relationship, and you really want it to work, and you really trying to be in a relationship. It takes dedication, purpose, passion, and it also takes discipline. I'm sorry, babe.
No, that's okay. I was thinking about 1 Corinthians chapter 13, where it talks about, am I a clinging symbol, like a symbol that you can't recognize? And so I feel that sometimes when we are in relationships, regardless if you're in a relationship, you have a girlfriend and y'all have a sistership, or you are married, or you have a fiance and y'all getting ready to get married. My husband, he knows what symbol I am. He knows if I'm a tambourine, he said, Ira is a tambourine. Okay. just like him, I know that he's a trombone. I know his sound of love. I know what his sound is because we actually wrote a poem about. You're so silly. And so when you think about love is patient, love is kind. It doesn't envy. It doesn't boast. Like it isn't jealousy. Rude. It isn't proud. So we have to think about that. Love isn't rude. Love isn't hollering at your husband or your significant other or your one that you're with across the street and calling them all kinds of names, and then you say, "Oh, I love you." Oh, man, we have to really think about. Sometimes you have to go and sit down. And I'm saying this for myself. Get yourself somewhere. Sit down. Gather yourself, and keep in mind that you told this person I love you, and then you doing something contrary to what you said to this person. So I can't tell you, Divine, I love you, and then I cuss you out 10 minutes later. That's not love. I just think I'm just saying it because okay, he said it, she said it. Oh, I should say that. No, we really need to understand the definition of love. Yeah,
no doubt. And look, just based on what Wifey was just talking about, it reminded me of this old saying that I've heard before. And the saying is, a relationship built on false hope and white lies will crumble in the end no matter how much you love the person. So at the end of the day, it's telling you to be honest to the best of your ability and not front and don't lie. Yeah. And getting into a relationship, like I said earlier, it could be a path of discovery, but it could also be a source of motivation. Right. Because now you're in a relationship with someone, it's not just you anymore. You're not single. Now you have someone that you can build together with. Now you have someone that you can set new goals with. You have someone that you can strive to be a better person with. You know, like I said, being in a relationship with someone and that love is being expressed, you know, reciprocity is going back and forth. Now you want to become a better you. Most of us do. I know for me, let me speak for me. I want to be a better person, and to this day I still fall short in some areas, but I don't beat myself up. I dust myself off, and I'm like, okay, I still got another shot because I'm still here, and my wifey is still here. You know, so overall it's about getting better with self. And love is a teacher.
Yes, it is.
You know,
Love.
people, like, I really think people just be throwing the word out there. Love.
I know, yeah.
No, love is a teacher. Is a reformer as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. It's so many things that can happen when you fall in love. You know, it could make you even change some of your bad habits.
Yeah.
Because when you're alone and you're by yourself and you're not in a relationship, some of the stuff that you were doing at that particular time was cool because it was just you. Now you have someone next to you or someone that's always in your presence. Me and my wife, we're married, so we live together. We're always around each other. So some things that I might have found cool before that may not have necessarily been bad, you know, now I'll be like, well, maybe I shouldn't do that. Or maybe she might check me a couple of times and be like, Divine, you know, I don't think that's cool, you know, and then and at first I might be one of them, I mean, man, I ain't changing that. You know, ain't nothing wrong. And that's how I see it. I don't really see it as a bad thing. But then over a period of time, you know, me hearing her and me thinking and looking at it from a realistic point of view, well, maybe you just need to change that. Why? Because it will take some of the tension out of the household. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Because I always think love is it's a lot of things. I would say love is power.
Yeah.
Which
combines
and binds everything in a knot to form togetherness.
Okay, Nani.
You so silly. Love brings everything under one roof so y'all could become one. Love is just it's beautiful. I used to throw it around. You know I love you. Love you meant I'm going to give you my body. Oh, you know I love you. I'm going to give you some money. Oh, you know I love you. Put some rims on your car. I mean, that was then. So as long as I was giving myself away as far as my body, my mind, my money, my car, buying stuff for him, I wasn't getting anything back in return.
Oh, not me.
Because it wasn't him, no. Yeah. I had, like I said, it was a distorted. My definition of love was distorted. And so I had to really, I didn't understand, really, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I didn't understand love until I met Divine. And I did understand love with the God of my understanding, my Christ, my Savior. I didn't understand that, you know, because God said, how can you love a God whom you never seen? And you can't even love your own brother daily. You can't even get along with them. So I had to really, really just sit back and think about it. I had to think about that. I shouldn't, and to this day, I still feel like I do take the word love lightly. And that's something that I need to work on.
And we all do. It's not just you. Because I think, like, nowadays, people just tend to sling that word around. You know, I see it all the time. Girl, I love you. They don't even like you. They don't even like themselves. So how they going to love you? You know, and a lot of people tend to say that. I see it on social media all the time. You know, but love is definitely a support structure to build on.
Right.
If that love is there, it gives you the courage to step out on faith. It gives you the courage to step out with your partner. You know, y'all be stepping in the name of love without R. Kelly.
In the name.
Without him. Without him. You know, not that deep. But anyway, you know, it puts you in a better place. It puts you in a better frame of mind. It puts you in a better state of being. Because when you're in love, now look, this is not Divine saying this. They have actually done tests and research. When people are in love and they say that they're in love, is a lot of things that they notice that change. One thing that they notice, you know, your vibration goes up. Love is a higher form, a higher vibration. So things tend to happen. It's less depression. Most people who really are in love, you know, some of the research that has been done, their blood pressure goes down. It's less depression. You know, they ultimately feel better about themselves. You know, they overall feel happy and they feel like, you know, more resourceful. They don't feel like they're just here. So that love, like I said earlier, it could definitely be a source of motivation. And it, like I said, is a support structure. You could build upon that. When you start to become happy, you start to want to do more things, and then you want to remain happy. Well, most of us do. We would want to remain happy. And if happiness remains in the relationship, things will probably change. Even if the relationship isn't, good in the beginning, and you start feeling better about yourself, they start feeling better about themselves, things will change. And how could things change? And how could you become happy in a relationship? Show love and affection. Without love, you lose the affection. And without the affection, you probably definitely going to lose the love. So another thing I would tell people to watch out for, and I see this on social media, and that's why I'm mentioning it, watch out for emotional infidelity.
Ooh.
You tie into people, and it happens all the time. People tie into people that they barely even know. Somebody give them a compliment or something like that, or put a heart on a picture, or star, thumbs up, whatever. Oh, I like you. Oh, you're so cute. And then the next thing you know, you're branching outside of your relationship, and you're getting emotionally attached with an individual that don't even know you, that you don't even know, and they don't even know you, and they don't even care about your marriage. You know what I mean? It's not up to them to respect your marriage or relationship. It's up to you to respect your marriage or relationship. So they just doing, it might be a man reaching out to a woman. They just doing what men do. They just being a man. And to be honest, if they're not in a relationship, you can't really blame them for just doing what men do, because it's up to you, to adhere to the rules and regulations that should go on in a marriage or relationship.
Right.
Another thing that love can do, it can resolve some of your deep-seated fears. But in order for that to, come into place, you have to really get in touch with who you are. You may even have to go back in your mind and do an inventory of your relationship with your parents or the caregiver in the past, and if there was some negativity that had took place during that time, you have to come to the level of acceptance and know that it didn't happen due to anything that you did. It happened due to them wanting to do what they, wanted to do at that particular time. And I think a lot of people get stuck there, and then somebody may have did something wrong to them in the past. Like a young lady did something to me in the past, when I was like 9 years old, and she was like 4 years older than me. But to be honest, I didn't stay stuck there. But some people stay stuck in different situations, right? Well, she took advantage of me. Let me back up. She took advantage of me, and I was a man, and I told people, some dudes, they was like, listen, dude. They ain't say it that way, but they was like, listen, I wish it would have happened to me. That's how they said it. You know what I mean? So I kind of bottled it up and kept it to myself. But let me say this real quick. Some people, when they have that disconnect with their parents or caregivers at a young age, or they've been through circumstances, molestation, rape, abuse, getting beat up, that follows them for the rest of their life if they don't resolve that issue. And sometimes you have to get to a point in adulthood to realize that you're broken in certain areas. And then when you really dig deeper, you start to realize the reason why you're broken in certain areas is what took place in your childhood, and it was never resolved. So it tends to spread out in adulthood, and then you start to realize as a woman, why do I keep ending up with dudes that always beat my butt when your father would beat your butt when you were little? Or you look around as a man and you be like, why am I always with these women who, do X, Y, and Z, and then you come to find out that in your mind, you still feel a particular way in your thought process, so you are attracting what you're thinking, and you're thinking back from the unresolved issues that you never dealt with, and it like brings itself into your reality today. So I would tell people to resolve them deep-seated fears and issues from your past.
Right. And I want to add to that, love is the most beautiful and rare thing there is. And sometimes you have to be a little patient. Sometimes we don't want to be patient and endure a little bit of pain to reach it. Sometimes you got to endure some things to reach. Because listen, when Jesus died on the cross, he loved us, but he had to endure some pain. He had to go through some pain. So we have to understand that love is just not, oh, I love you. Love is reachable, is touchable, is it's action, it's moving, and you have to be loved. I want to be loved. So when people see me, they say, "Oh, I see love all over her. I want to be loved."
Okay.
And it's not the.
And I want to love you too.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Oh, don't you?
Okay. Okay, because I was telling a friend of mine today. She was so in love. She was like, "Oh, girl, I met him. I got to go back to check soon." And she's talking her cute little ex. I said, "You know what? Love is so cute when it's new." I said, but it's most beautiful when it lasts. I said, so in the beginning it's always cute and you feel good. You got the butterflies and y'all skipping through the meadows and all of that until he do something crazy. Are you still gonna love him the same as when it was fresh in the beginning? Yeah, it's cute and new, but it's most beautiful when it lasts.
No doubt.
And
happiness is a choice.
Yeah,
I think people tend not to
all
realize that.
Yeah.
Happiness is a choice.
But honey, give me joy.
And
Give
then
me
on
joy.
top of that, I always say this, people look for other people to make them happy, but nobody can make you happy other than yourself. Happiness comes from within, not from without. So at the end of the day, it's about you feeling good about yourself, better in your circumstances. But if you do have an individual on your side that you know is loving and caring and is there for you and in your corner, yes, that can definitely enhance your happiness, but happiness comes from within. It comes from you. And one of the ways that you can, keep that happiness alive and keep the love alive for yourself, because at the end of the day, like I said, you have to love yourself in order to love others. Confirm your love and respect for self. Like, some people say, look in the mirror and talk to yourself.
I know I have
talk
affirmations.
to your reflection. I love you. I like the way you look. Don't put yourself down, because what you think and say, it starts to become reality in your own life. You know what I mean?
It becomes
so you start
permanent.
saying it. Yeah, you start saying something negative
permanent.
about yourself. No matter what good happens, you'll still see yourself from that negative angle. So give yourself affirmations. Like I said, reevaluate. Your relationship with your parents. In your relationship, like I said, go back, deal with those issues. Or if it was somebody else, encourage positiveness in your relationship. Encourage that. These are some of the things you can do to keep the love and the happiness alive, and keep your relationship moving forward in a positive light. Ask yourself questions like this: are you willing to change your beliefs for that individual? Make a list.
Yeah.
Be clear of the things that you want. Realize that we are moving towards love and not away from love. Well, that's at least what you should be doing. You should be moving towards love. And keep in mind that all relationships is a learning experience. Just because you was in a relationship or a marriage with somebody else doesn't mean that everything is going to fall the exact same way in this relationship that it felt in that relationship. As life goes on, we continue to learn, and the more relationships you get involved with, and not even just romantic relationships. I'm just talking about relationships in general. You start to learn more about people the more you get in relationships with people.
Yeah. So love suffers long. So y'all, it's so many things that we could just talk about this all night long.
Yeah, I still don't want to talk about it.
And we want people to understand that we want everybody to do a self-evaluation. You have to do that, because so many women that I know that I come in contact with. I was talking to a friend of mine today, and her sister was in labor, and she was like, "Listen, I want a child, but listen, you got to be a last name change and a ring before we do this here thing." So you can tell that she wants that. And my thing is, okay, bro, what you waiting on? Y'all been together 5 years. What is it that you're waiting on? So she's patiently waiting.
But what's funny? Remember the video we was watching, and dude was saying how all these stipulations is put in place.
Yes,
and the here and now, where stipulations weren't put in place back in the day. So now you have to sign a paper in order to get married, so that you can say what you're going to keep and what they're going to keep.
Oh yeah,
but if it's really based on, and I didn't want, if it's really based on love, why does all of that have to be done? Because somewhere along the line,
secret bank account. In
today's society, things are not just seen, for what they are. Everybody's thinking that they're trying to get them, and they may be. And at the end of the day, you do have to protect yourself, but it's just crazy or funny how things have changed from the way they used to be. But let me say this. remember, and I just said it a minute ago, but this is something that I want people to remember. Remember that life mirrors back the feelings that you have inside. So those feelings that you have inside, negative or positive, remember, if it mirrors back to you, it's going to mirror into your relationship. You know what I mean? So you have those negative feelings, it's going to bounce right back into your relationship, and then you start putting it on your partner. That happens at times as well. You know, you start deflecting. You know, you start forgetting about your traits and the things that you do, and then you try to pose them onto your partner that is all their fault. And that happens a lot in relationships. You know, you also have to not allow people to disrespect you. You know, do not ever let nobody devalue you. You know, and a lot of people do that. You know, like, you know, somebody I know, you know, I'm not just one person, but there's a couple of people I know that are in situations now that the men, one of the ways they kind of try to keep the woman in check is that they try to, like, disgrace them, you know, devalue them, make them feel like they're nothing. Almost like the pimp hoe attitude. You know, they have them, like, they want to have them under their thumb, like in complete control. And a lot of times when men are like that, the reason why they are like that is because they have low self-esteem, and they feel as though if they could put somebody in check or control this woman, it makes them feel better about themselves and feel more like a man. But for real, are you really a man?
Yeah.
If you have to put down your own woman, someone that you say that you love and care about, but you hit her and drag her and you know, do all
call
other
her name
of
other than what's on her birth certificate.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then another thing is, you know, we're actually talking about a couple that we know, and
a couple of couples.
Yeah, a couple of couples, and all of them do this, and it's a great similarity between, you know, the men and then the women. Well, he did this and he done this and he done this, and then 2 days later, they'll call me and say, "Well, I bought him some $200 sneakers and I gave him what he wanted sexually, and it still didn't work out." And I said, "Boo, and it still ain't gonna work out." You know,
ain't a victim no more if it happened a number of times.
Right, you're
volunteer.
Yeah,
if
you're
this past
volunteer.
the second time, you become a volunteer, especially if you know how the person is already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't keep crying wolf when you know that the wolf was a wolf before you even got with the wolf.
Okay.
You know, he was hollering before y'all was really even together. And then after y'all got together, you don't be together for a little while. His howls didn't change. They might have simmered down just to get back with you. And then he start growling again, and then you want to cry.
Oh, what big hands you have.
And I'm not knocking. Look, no, I'm not knocking, and I'm not trying to disrespect nobody. I'm just saying, look at reality for what it is and move accordingly. You know what I mean? Another thing, don't let lust and temptations come so easily in your relationship. You know, because they could definitely lead you away
Marriage
from love.
Marriage is honorable to all, but the bed is undefiled.
And be present in your relationship. My wife, you know, she talked about that earlier. You know, being present in the relationship. And if something, people say they love, right? I love you. If love is unconditional, it shouldn't be all about you.
That's right.
If you're in a relationship, if you're in a marriage, okay, I did say that you have to know how to love yourself first in order to give love and also to receive it in a positive light. You know what I mean? So if you're in a relationship, it shouldn't just be all about you. And like I said, the love shouldn't just be all about you. It should be about both of the people that are actually in the relationship. You know, continue to learn how to love no matter what. And show your mate, especially if you're a man and you're dealing with a woman, show your woman that you adore them. And I don't mean you have to do it 24/7, because then it might come off fake. No, because then if you keep doing it, you just keep doing it over and over. The female, like, you just, all of a sudden, you just pop up and like, what up? And you come out with the magic flowers every 2 minutes. She's going to be looking at you like, okay, dude. You know, I know you just doing this for now. You know, just try to be consistent with it. Yeah, you don't have to do it all the time. Yeah, wifey did say that. You know, give her praise. Praise your mate. They're there for a reason. You know, whatever the reason may be, it'll eventually come out. But as far as you know now, if they're in it for the love, then show them that you love them back. You know, reciprocity. Me and I remember when I first told my wife that when I mentioned the word reciprocity, and she was like, "What's that?" You remember that? Baby?
Yeah.
This was a while back, but I'm just saying, So what is given to you, give back, and don't always just wait for something to be given to you. Another thing, if you go through a situation, wifey was talking about earlier. We had a little argument, disagreement earlier today. You have to learn how to forgive. You might not forget. It might be hard to forget. I know for me, it's hard as hell for me to forget. It wasn't even an argument. We just had like a little, we went back and forth a little bit. We don't really argue, to be honest.
We don't.
I'm not an arguer. I'm
just
saying, I'm not an arguer.
He'll say that, and I'll be like,
I just say what I'm going to say.
I can't say what I want to say.
And then I shut up. I say what I'm going to say, then I say most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time.
But like I said, you have to learn how to forgive. If you're not able to forgive, you're not going to be able to move past that point. You know what I mean? Even though the day has gone and all that, but if you didn't forgive for particular circumstances, you're probably not going to move past that point. And then if something else comes up that you don't agree with, or something else they're doing that you don't feel is right, it's probably going to bubble up, and then you had that resentment held tucked in, and now this is the opportune time to let her know exactly how you feel.
Listen, married folks, because you can always tell when your significant other is mad when they sleeping on the edge of the bed. You're going to get pushed off. I'm going to push you right on. You're going to hit the floor real hard. So don't get in this bed acting like...
Yeah. Look, and we're
acting like you don't know I've been in this bed with you for 3 years, and all of a sudden you going to sleep on the edge. I'm going to push you right on the floor.
I'm on the edge, baby. I'm on the edge. Look, so when wife is saying that, try to continue to move towards the solution. Don't stay stuck in the problem.
And men, don't be silent, because this one right here,
like quiet as a church.
Yeah, because listen,
I be in the bed like this on the edge.
Listen, because my husband said, "You think you know me?" I said, "I know when you trying to give me the silent treatment." I said, "That big old head lean over to the right, that means you ain't saying nothing else to me."
Look, follow the path of least resistance. Look, follow the path of least resistance. Like you just said that. So like I'm not trying to be combative verbally. I don't.
He can be combative. No, he ain't hitting.
But I'm saying at the end of the day, I'm not trying to be combative. So I be trying to go to the place of least resistance. So what I do, I say what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna shut up. And then she be rapping, I'm like,
Now see, he sit up here talking about I be rapping. This the one that keep it going. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. Come on now.
And at the end of the day, if we're in a relationship together, this is the last two things I'm gonna shut up. And I'm gonna shut up after this. Try to stay in alignment with each other.
Yes, alignment.
And try to
stay vertical with the Lord.
It's about both of us being in well-being. In the comfort of our own home, being comfortable around each other, not having no discord amongst each other, not holding resentments, not holding anger, not being caught up in our fears, not being overly agitated. Sometimes Divine, if wifey's saying something, maybe just shut down and shut up. Sometimes you have to give people the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? And don't project. I said that earlier. Don't deny your faults or your traits.
Or deflect.
Sometimes you're going to have to choose your battles and choose them wisely. Because like wifey said, you might end up in the bed and you on the edge, and you might be on the edge on the floor. And let me just say these two more things. Don't act out on your emotions. Like wifey said, you might have to move away and take some time for yourself for a little while. Just take it easy. Let your anger go down, let your ego and all that deflate, so that you could, come back and resolve the issue without all the anger and stuff being there. And this is the last thing. Be mindful who you let close to you and who you allow to come into your relationship. Because you might be bringing somebody in a relationship that don't care about you or your mate, and, they might not have, your best interest at heart. Let me just say it that way. They might not have that. So just be mindful of that. And as always, we're going to end it how we always end it. My name is Divine.
My name is Ira.
And together we are
As One.
Peace. Hopefully y'all got something from what we said, and I hope everyone has a good night. And I'm sorry because my nose is a little stopped up.
Yeah, he's not feeling good. Gotta go home and take care of boo boo.
You gotta make it do what it do.
All right, y'all have a good night.
Peace.
Bye.